And we are live. You can catch us on YouTube and Rumble. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be right back with you, Howlers. We'll be right back. Do the dating and relationship episodes. We will be having it probably in about 3 weeks. So, How's Over Baz. I'm Jacob Casas. And today, we had a cancellation today, a 5 o'clock cancellation. So we are late. I'm sorry for that, guys. But the show must go on. Today, I have Shadi with Diamond Studios. He handles all the production and the background of How's Over Baz. We're bringing him on tonight to basically go over behind the scenes of YouTube and Rumble and basically everything that he does to help us get monetized and, got where we got, where we are today. So he's been on once before. Yeah, but we're gonna get to know him a little bit more on what he does. So go ahead. This is Shadi. Welcome to the show again, Shadi.
Yeah, what's up, Jacob? How you doing, bro? It's a pleasure to be on camera, bro.
Good. He's always here behind the scenes, every single episode. You guys just don't see him. Maybe if you have some technical difficulties.
Yeah, you see me running around.
Yeah, you'll see him running around and doing some stuff.
I think we met like 14 months ago, and I came in, and you guys had already started like maybe 3 episodes. You had like 3 episodes up on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And you guys were in the process trying to get monetized and figure everything out. So we started out with getting the right equipment in, most definitely for a podcast. We're going to cover just a little bit of technical stuff about what you need for a podcast. So you need, obviously, good quality audio to start with. So get you a couple of good mics. Don't go outrageous. I think our mics cost around $80 or so. We're going to have affiliate links in the description. So you guys just go in and click that button. Usually that gives us a little bit of, a couple of dollars here or there, and that's affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
So
you want to explain to them what affiliate marketing is? Because I didn't even know what that was until I started working.
Let's start first a podcast. Any video content that you have, any kind of media is actually digital media. And that's the product that you're selling or you're trying to sell to people. So this audio that we're recording right now is a digital media. The video that we're putting on YouTube is a digital media. Then how do you make money off your digital media is by affiliate marketing, monetization from different platforms like YouTube. Facebook, you could even monetize on Facebook. It's pennies on the dollar, but you could get money off it, and it's for life. The beauty about it, you create something. Digital media does the whole thing. Even music, if you're a rapper, that's what you're creating, a digital media. You create something, and you get paid off it for life, and that's the whole concept behind it. Affiliate marketing is a little different. So there's so many ways you could do affiliate marketing. So you could go look up online different websites, and you find different companies, different corporations that are looking for an affiliate marketer, somebody that will market their product. And you put a link on the bottom, they click on it, and you get money out of it. Or you could go in the product that you really believe in, and you go approach the companies and tell them, hey, I believe in your product. Are you guys looking for an affiliate marketer? And a lot of times they'll email you, a lot of times they won't. But if you go to a lot of different websites for different companies, they will have an affiliate marketing program that you could join. So that's how you kind of make money off affiliate marketing.
Why don't we start from scratch a little bit and then kind of move into that? I think it'd be good for the viewers. And so podcasting. So let's start with that, right? I can explain a little bit what I did about building the podcast, and then you jump in and let everybody know the real deal and what's next and all that kind of stuff that we got to do. So, I decided to start a podcast with a friend of mine named Ronnie Adams, and we started.
What up, Ronnie?
Yeah, what up, Ronnie? And we decided to get it rolling. We ended up getting all I had was 3 phones, and I bought 3 mics and like that deck from a friend of mine.
It's the Zoom.
It's the Zoom deck.
Yeah, Zoom deck. It's
Okay.
around $140 to get a
Okay.
brand new one, and it's a really good device to have.
Yeah. So I got that, and because a friend of mine, I was on his podcast, and then he sold me that because I told him I wanted to do one. I built the studio, I put everything together, and I was like, okay. So then we recorded some episodes. We actually did. I think it was. Well, the thing is, we did 12 total. So we did 12 episodes. They were not live. They were all a lot of the first few were just kind of whack. Like they were cool, but we were not the host we are now. We can host now, you know. But what we had to do was we had to build a studio first and get the equipment, and we had a lot of technical difficulties because we had the iPhones, but at one point they weren't even recording. But that's all you really need is iPhones to start. Because I even bought a camera, and the camera did not do anywhere near what an iPhone did.
Do not buy a camera unless you spend like at least $1,200 to $1,400 to get a good camera. And honestly, if you have a good iPhone, you really don't need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's what I've been finding out. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we ended up doing that with the cameras. So we had Ali helping us out a little bit and editing and things like that, because you do need an editor. But when we went live, we met Shadi. He came in. He ended up telling us about going live, and I was learning from a podcast called Fresh and Fit that live is the way to go because you get seen faster. You're like put in the front when people go in to look up podcasts. We're like put in the front, but it's very hard for people to do because they can't hold a conversation and keep it live and keep it interactive the whole time. So it was a little interesting at first, but we rolled with the punches, and he was telling us he can go live. So I was like, why not try it out and see what we can do? Because were a few podcasts in. I feel like we were already feeling like we were kind of going live on some of them in a sense. So I'd like, let's just do it. So we hooked up with you, and he taught me a little bit about YouTube. I wasn't really messing with YouTube because I had Ali doing it, and then I had no choice but to figure it out because a lot of people started falling off. You know how that goes, right?
Yeah.
With podcasting, it's like trying to keep a band together. A lot of the band members will just fall off. That's what the bands just never even really get started a lot of the times, because if you're doing them with other people, you got to watch out for that, because you got to make sure. And if people fall off, you got to just know that you're going to be there and still keep doing it. You have to be consistent. That's what I've learned. That's the only reason I think we've grown as much as we have, is doing it that way. But your content has to be good, and I think that our content is like us being at a bar, talking to whoever.
It's just organic. It's just organic content. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you about that. So he does a lot of podcasts. He films for a lot of their podcasts. You don't got to say their names or anything, but what's the difference that you tell us? But what's the difference between our podcast and some of the other ones that you've done?
So most podcasts just stick to one subject, or their whole content is always the same. A lot of it is scripted. I noticed that right when I came in, everything is so organic here. Nothing is scripted. I remember the first DNR we had in here. Some girl got kicked out. It was just crazy. You guys should go back in the timeline and check it out. And it's just when you do it live, a lot of podcasts don't really do it live. They claim they do it live, but they'll film it and then they'll go back and live stream it.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot of different tricks in the game that you do. So hardly anything is live, or anything that you see on TV is not really real TV.
Yeah, it's not reality. It's not reality. Yeah,
you know. So with this podcast, you're getting unscripted, raw emotions. Everything is on the table. No holds bar. The conversations get really, really crazy in here. And you being the host, you get a lot out of people. You're a really good host. I
appreciate that.
You get people just open, and they just open up. They say a lot of stories. I think we had over 10 guests that started crying in here.
Yeah, I think so.
At least over 10,
yeah.
You know? So it's a huge accomplishment to get monetized in less than a year. You started the monetization process in less than a year.
What would you say is the biggest thing that we've done to get monetized? What do you think is the most important thing?
Content. I remember one day we shot close to 10 hours straight, nonstop. We took like a quick lunch break and we went at it. So I remember that in 1 year, we pumped a lot of content out there, and that's the whole thing about digital media. The more you have out there, the better your chances.
Yeah.
The more traction you're gonna get, and it's interesting content. It's really interesting content.
I think the thing that people don't understand too, I think people think that anybody can do this, but they can't. It is tough. It's exhausting. It's a lot of work. It's not like you're just getting the mic and talking on it. It's so much work. But if you really want to do this, you're going to have to look into it of being real work. Not you're just going to sit on the mic and bullshit. Like, it's a lot of work. And I'm good at that shit. I'm good at sitting with people and actually bullshitting and having conversations. But it's because I feel like I used it when I was like dating a lot. You got to keep things interactive and keep the conversation rolling. But and I'm an entrepreneur. So when I was sitting with other business owners trying to close deals for my business, I had to keep things interesting. I didn't want the person I was doing business with that I was trying to potentially close a deal with to feel bored or awkward around or anything. So you just try to keep everything cool and flowing and moving and things like that. So I think that it is hard for a lot of people, because I think if you're not really into sales or you're just going to talk to a camera by yourself, maybe you can do that. You know what I mean? I see a lot of people doing that. To me, I think that shit's kind of weird, but if you can do it and it's making you money, I mean, hey, more power to you. But I'm not that type of person. I feel like I need some interaction.
And I highly recommend, if you're really serious about starting a podcast, not just an audio podcast. Because you can start an audio podcast by just your iPhone and record it, and get it going. If you're really serious about YouTube and social media and Reels, and just hire someone who does it. It makes life a lot easier when you're not taking care of the technical stuff and being on camera as well.
Diamond Studios.
So not necessarily just Diamond Studios, or study a little bit before you jump on and you start trying to get the content. Then guess what? You don't have it on camera, or you didn't get the right angles, or then you're just stuck with footage that you have to go through, and it's going to take you hours and hours to go through it, and it's just not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, we filmed a whole episode and we lost it all. Remember
I
that?
think more than one. Before I come in, I think you guys had like 4 episodes on your channel.
I know there was 2 for sure.
2 episodes on the channel.
Yeah.
You guys had like maybe 15 recorded already. So there was quite a few that
there was 2
lost,
that we basically lost.
Yeah.
Like there was one that we didn't.
With the skateboarder, I think.
Yeah, the BMX rider. Yeah, and then a girl. A lot of hers was like a weird camera angle. We lost a whole angle, and it was basically on the side of her head. So it was lost.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we lost 2 episodes for sure, and it's better just to get somebody to help you out, because if not, you're spending all this time and getting the guest in. It's going to be hard to get him a second time. And if you do get him in a second time, it's not organic, so it just doesn't. The flow's not the same.
Yeah.
It's just not the same at all.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to get the same footage again. And even us doing this kind of experienced in it a little bit, it's still just not the same. Like, to be organic with it, you know what I mean? So, why don't you tell us some of like the setups that you use to do the podcast?
So we use a lot of iPhones, believe it or not. We use NDI technology, network direct interface technology. There's a lot of different software you could get. I highly recommend StreamYard for a lot of people. If you want to go for free, go with OBS. It is challenging, but it is free. It's an open source. But you could utilize your iPhone. You don't really have to go live. Like, a lot of times when you even go live, you could just use your iPhone and go live. As long as you have good audio connected to your phone, you're going to have a good podcast.
Yeah.
It's about the content, what you're providing people. Keep it interesting, and you could always do edits later. You could do your edits. We highly recommend CapCut. If you're using Adobe Premiere or Final Cut, good for you. But CapCut is just so much easier. So much easier.
What do you think about Rumble and what they're doing?
So you introduced me to Rumble. I had no idea about Rumble. I love that platform now. I feel like it's a really good platform to have your content out there. If you have any censored material on YouTube, or they censored your stuff, they don't want to post it, they take it off. On Facebook, they do a lot of copyright infringements, all that. Go to Rumble and try it out and check it out. It's a really good platform.
So I know Rumble. I mean YouTube and Facebook and all that stuff. They're basically almost not owned by the same people, but the same type of people. So Rumble is a free speech. So, all the people that are banned and everything, they're on Rumble. So you can basically say whatever you want. So are we cool? Sorry, little technical difficulties. We're cool. We're good. Okay. So so I like Rumble a lot and what they're doing right now. Rumble is the way to go. If you don't have a platform or you're trying to figure out where you want to put your platform on, put it on Rumble, because YouTube is so hard to get monetized. I mean, it is super hard to get monetized now. It's not like what it used to be. I heard it used to be very easy to get monetized. Now it's really hard. We're going through so much problems trying to get monetized. So we are monetized. We got monetized, but they're making us jump through hoops to get our money now. That's the difference. So when we get to a certain area, they have us do something, and then we got to jump. We have to get a certain amount of hours. That's the first part. You can get a lot of those hours through shorts, but the thing is once you get those hours, we had over 1,000 hours on top of that, and they still didn't give us the hours. They said until we're 1,000 hours over. Remember that?
Yeah, they were deducting our hours.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like they really try not to monetize you. It's crazy. So then they finally gave us our hours. We hustled, me and Shadi, man. We put a lot of work into that. And Shadi comes through here all the time, and he'll help me out. He'll jump on the laptop, and him and his wife will help me out all the time. But so shout out to you for that, man. Thank you for that. You know how that's pain, dude.
It is.
And even his wife's like, I guess she does this a lot with YouTube, and she's like, it hasn't been this difficult. Like they're making it harder and harder to get monetized. So once we got that taken care of, then we have to go through all these process of plugging our information in and all that. So we did that. Then then you can see the money coming up. But I'm like, okay, when are we going to get the money? When are they going to transfer it into our account? Then they come up with this system of, you have to go through all these steps. So you do them, and there's always a hiccup. Always end up being a hiccup in them. And I'll have you go over a lot of that stuff if you want, to go over that. But then there's a hiccup. But right now we're waiting on to be approved for something, so they can send us basically a code, so that when we get the code, we plug it in, and then boom, we're able to get the money that we have already built up in the podcast. And we don't really know how much it is. I mean, I have an idea when you look through it, but it's kind of confusing. So I don't think you're really going to know until you get that first check and you're like, okay, now I know how to read this thing. But what do you think about that? What they do, YouTube? Why don't you explain YouTube?
So YouTube, when it first started, it was really easy to actually monetize on YouTube. It wasn't that big of a deal. Obviously, now there's over 1 billion, or I don't remember the actual statistics, but there's over 1 billion channels right now, and they're all trying to monetize.
Yeah.
So they did make it a lot more difficult, and the 3 steps. So we did meet the hours. We did have the hours already. We have the 1,000 subscribers a long time ago, but now they're asking to add the scenes on all the ads on our website.
Uh-huh.
So now they're sending, like, we had to add a code to the back end on WordPress to the website, and they send their crawlers to check the website, and it did not get approved. So we have to work on the website now.
Yeah.
So it is challenging, and at the end of the day, if it was easy, everybody would have done it.
Yeah.
So they do have to make it a little more difficult. So.
Yeah.
I feel like it is worth it, though. YouTube is the next big thing,
Yeah.
It's not going to be free forever.
No, yeah. And then we'll see Rumble, though. The thing is we're already monetized on Rumble. We have like pennies in there, but we're monetized. So that's a good thing about Rumble. And they're creating something where you can kind of basically put your own brand. If they accept your brand, you can be one of the not affiliate, but the advertisers.
Yeah.
For that, but they're accepting a lot of advertisers that are not advertising for YouTube, because they're basically like they basically run it. The advertisers basically run YouTube.
Yeah.
They do what YouTube does, what the advertisers say to do, and that's how YouTube is ran. It's really left. It's really left wing. So I mean, that's why you don't have free speech on there, things like that. They basically limit some of our episodes. They demonetize an episode. They make it where you can't make money on it if you say certain things. Rumble's not like that. You get the views. It just keeps popping up. So I really do believe Rumble is the next big thing. They have so many things going on with Rumble that we're going to keep pushing on Rumble. I've been really working on Rumble behind the scenes to push Rumble. I watched him on I'm just gonna shout these guys out. Fresh and Fit. I watched them on Fresh and Fit. They had them on a couple times, but the last time they had them on, they're doing things that nobody's doing, dude. I really want you to watch the episode.
I did with the Rumble
Owner,
the CEO.
dude. It's wild because like right now, imagine when YouTube first started. That's kind of where Rumble's at. So they're taking like if you get in there, it's like buying real estate in an area that nobody has really, and it's going to build up. So we have that piece of real estate in there. I mean, content is king right now. Content, I mean, it's currency. It's everything right now. So we basically got our real estate in there, and we're building it up, and people are watching. People are starting to follow now. So now we're building a little audience on Rumble. We want to keep this going, and with YouTube, I want to keep it rolling too. Obviously, YouTube's huge. And they are starting to censor less now because of Rumble, though. So I know they see that they have competition with Rumble,
Yeah,
But-
they have to like loosen up a little bit actually on YouTube. So
Yeah, they're going to have to.
yeah.
So what else you wanted to talk about on some of this podcast?
I just want to point out that podcasting is really is the way to go now. This is the new technology. That's the new way, the new era. That's the new radio. So a lot of people should get into podcasts. If they think about it, just try it out. If it's not the thing for you, you didn't lose anything. It could be the thing for you.
Yeah.
The other thing, we have to utilize social media. So Rumble, like you're saying, Instagram, all the social media, TikTok, everything. If you're a podcaster, you have to utilize it. And honestly, there's a lot of money to be made out of podcasts and networking. So you're going to meet a lot of people. And I'm sure you could talk about that a little bit.
So I started this podcast for networking. I didn't start it for trying to be on the camera and all that. I started it for networking because it people that own businesses. I started out with entrepreneurship, but people that own businesses, I bring on here. We talk about their struggle to rise to where they're at right now, and their journey basically. So, but what's cool about this is when we bring these people on, they're like starstruck in a sense because they haven't been on a podcast. This place is legit, So it gives me really good networking, and that was a secret that I had, and I really think if you're a business owner, you should have a podcast. I mean, I would. The thing is not everybody can talk, and it's a lot of work. It's a whole other set of work, but you can build your. I already had a business prior, so it helps me build my other business because of the connections I'm making. So that helped. And really, if anything that you want to be involved in, from music to even talking to girls, whatever the case is, you can, but you got to be able to be that kind of person that can talk to anybody, right? So whatever your niche is, if you can't sit there and talk to everybody, I'm an introvert. I can talk to a lot of people. That's just who I am. Most of my friends are the same way, so I feel like the people I surround myself are like that. So I have no problem doing that. But if not, stick to what you can do and who you can talk to. If it's just going to be other entrepreneurs, talk to them. If it's going to be on basically building the business that you already have, I feel like that would be a good one too. But I feel like I'm fortunate that I can speak to a lot of different people and jump into that mindset of where they're at and kind of go from there. But that's really why I started this podcast, but it just went somewhere else. I'm still interviewing entrepreneurs. We're interviewing a girl here tonight. She has a children's book, but it's based on like psychology. So it's trying to help children, know who they are and their identity, but not the right wing way. The left wing way, the right wing way. So, I don't like any of that stuff. I'm not going to get into that. Can't talk about this on YouTube, but that's not my style. I'm not trying to get into that. And it has really nothing to do with, the actual term of that. I just don't want to be involved in that kind of junk. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm older. That's not my style. You know what I mean? That's not my thing. So I'm going to stay away from that. You're not going to see any of those Transformers on this show, anything like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, you have anything more to say about this?
Just if you want to start your own podcast, talk about what you know. Like you're constantly talking about business because that's what you know.
Uh-huh.
And you're good at it. And obviously you're good at talking to girls because you see that on camera. You get them open right away. So it's just if you're thinking of starting a podcast, just talk about something you know, something you're passionate about. Don't go Google what's trending today and start talking about it, because it's just, it's oversaturated now with all the AI, faceless YouTube channels. All that doesn't really work. Down the road, it's not going to work.
I think what you can do is just like instead of scripting, just get bullet points. That's what I do. I'll have bullet points, and I'll stick to the bullet points. And my co-host does help me a lot. He's not here today. My bad. Rico's not here today. He's sick. So I don't want to get sick. So if he's watching, what up, Rico? Shotty's here. He took your spot.
I don't know if I took your spot.
But so we have a few different segments that we're doing now. I kind of broke them up into something. So we're gonna have a Christian segment.
Nice.
We're gonna have the DNR segment, entrepreneurship segment, and what people don't know what's coming. I haven't even told you yet. We're having a comic book segment.
Oh, wow.
Coming. I have a guy from Impound Comics coming on the show the 3rd. He owns a comic book company called Impound Comics. I've been following him for a little bit. He has it's his own brand, his own publishing company, but he has a podcast talking about all the different comic book companies and the movies coming out and all that. Just talking about who would win in a fight, Wolverine or Superman. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So he has a company, a podcast like that right now. So I invited him on.
That's cool.
There's another guy. This guy is somebody I've been wanting to get on for a long time. His name's Tyler Forrest. He has a comic book company. I can't wait to get him on, dude. I've been following him on Facebook for like 15 years.
Wow.
And he was a teacher when I first was following him. He ended up having losing, he put everything he could into his comic book company. He ended up losing his job, sleeping in his car, to making $400,000 a year with his publishing company on its own.
Wow.
Dude, it's crazy. And then he opened up a couple smoothie places. His comic book company is called Godhood Comics. I can't wait to get that dude on, but he's out of Atlanta.
Wow.
So and then I have another girl too. So I have a few people already in the works to come on the show for the comic segment. So that's going to be really cool. I can't wait
nice.
to. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because I know we did with the X-Men.
X-Men, yeah.
But and I have some other people that I've hit up too, through Disney.
Nice.
So I got a lady that she was part of the X-Men 98 series 2. She sent me an email to email this person that says they can do a interview with us, and it's a Disney email. Oh. So now I'm going to be getting more. I can get more of that going on. Fight segments with King of the Cage, a bunch of different things. But we have a lot of things coming up, and I want to start segregating how it's going to be done and kind of making it known. Okay, this is comic book segment. I want to call the comic book segment. I want to call it what is it? Fourth Wall. So that'd be like the name of it, Fourth Wall comic book segment. House over Baz though. But everyone, I want it to have its own segment, its own thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm going. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just going with the flow. But as we go with the flow, I feel like we can get more things rolling on a little bit more organized on how we do things. But I'm not going to just categorize one thing and it's just like one episode of X-Men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what do you think about how all of this, where we're trying to go with this? I mean, we don't really have a straightforward thing, but what do you think?
Well, I think behind the scene footage is crucial, and we are going to apply for Comic-Con. Hopefully we can get in as the press, and that will be behind the scene kind of interviews and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And, that's going to be on local, obviously.
Yeah.
So people should follow us on local. We have a lot of behind the scene footage that's going to go on local. I mean, you are into comics. A lot of people don't realize that you've been into comics mostly your whole life, whenever we're talking.
Yeah.
So and it's great. Like I was talking about, if you're passionate about something, you should most definitely talk about it.
Yeah.
And that way it comes organic, comes natural. So.
Yeah, I think that's what makes this podcast get the views it gets, because I'm just talking about things I like, and I don't care what people think about it. You know what I mean?
You're natural about it. You're honest about it. No cap. You know what I mean? Like even the DNRs, you guys don't hold bars. Everything's on the table. So you guys should check out the DNR episodes. They're awesome.
Yeah,
So,
they're crazy.
they're crazy. They are crazy.
The last one we had was pretty wild.
But the first one, man, I still
It's the
I can't get
craziest,
over it.
huh?
Yeah, I still can't.
I know.
get
I
over
feel like
it.
the first
It
one was the best too.
It was the best. Ronnie was here, he gets a little aggressive with the ladies. What I mean? It was good. It was good footage. So.
What have you seen since? This will be good, for the fans. So like, since Ben's doing this with us, what have you seen? How House Over Baz has progressed throughout the time you've been here.
Well, every time you as far as being you yourself as the host, you get better. So that's no substitute for experience, honestly. The other thing, I met so many people through this podcast that there's no way I would have met in regular life. You have a variety, such a good variety. It's not always the same. It's not always the same. So I feel like it's an incredible podcast to have in the Inland Empire. I feel like there's nothing like it out here. I know there was another couple of podcasts. They're doing their thing, but nothing like House Over Baz. Nothing like House Over Baz.
I think we're number one in IE.
Yeah.
Well, we have collaborated with another podcast called BBC. If you haven't seen that episode, look it up. But they're rising podcasts in the Inland Empire. They have 23,000 subs too.
They're not live though.
Yeah, they're not live. But they got 23,000 subs. We worked with them. That episode we did with them went really big.
Yeah.
It had over 1,000 views, and just on the live side. So just so you know, live episodes, they die after a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So we ended up transferring them over to the video side, maybe with a little edit. But it was a good episode, and we're gonna try to help each other rise together because a lot of podcasts do that. They end up going on other people's podcasts. They help each other rise together. I have no doubt this podcast is going to get huge. I got no doubt, dude. It's just a matter of time.
And they were really cool too. The BBC.
BBC is really cool.
They're really cool cats.
Yeah. No, I was saying I have no doubt that our podcast can get really huge.
Yeah. No, it's going to get bigger. Nothing we're already big. I think we're at 30
almost 37,000
subscribers. I mean, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot of work. You put in work, bro. Every Tuesday for the last year, we at least put in at least 8 hours every Tuesday. So
it is so much work, guys. I'm telling you, if you think it is easy, it is not. You guys need to really practice, and it's a lot of. You got to be consistent, and a lot of people just aren't consistent. So I see a lot of people just not doing this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because consistency,
it's hard.
It's hard, and then even being consistent for people, it's just a lot. Getting guests on, we had a cancellation today. And me and Shadi talk. We're like, hey, there's so much things we can talk about, when it comes to building the brand, building the podcast and stuff like that. So if we do have a guest that's not able to come on, we can roll with the punches. That's what we do as business owners. He's a business owner. Yeah. I'm a business owner. We know if something happens, we'll just roll with the punches. Fuck it. We'll just make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what we're doing right now. But you got to think of it like this too. It's gonna be hard for people to get guests. It's not easy to get guests all the time. We get two different guests every week, and things happen. Sometimes I can't pull something out of my hat so quick to try to get another guest on in time. But you guys don't even know, a lot of guests they do pretty much tell us, hey, I can't make it today. They cancel, whatever the case is. It happens all the time. Shai doesn't even know some of the time, but it happens a lot, and I get another guest just in the meantime. So we end up getting other guests to come on, or we just do a thing on ourselves, Yeah. But if you see a guest on here, sometimes they're last minute. So just so you know, it's not easy. And you can't just sit there and I don't want to just talk to the wall. That's not how I do things. Yeah. I'd rather have a guest on, go back and forth, talk, things like that. Yeah. But anything else you got to tell these guys?
Brand awareness. So basically, House Over Baz, I feel like a lot of people recognize the brand now. Mm-hmm. It took us about a year, and that's the main reason a lot of guests want to come in to the podcast. Uh-huh. And when they call, or if they call off, or they can't make it for some reason, they're really apologetic. They're really sorry about it. It's not like, oh, we can't make it. No, they're usually sick. Yeah. And they want to reschedule all the time. Yeah. So it's just what we have going is something unique, something special for the Inland Empire, and keep it up, bro. Keep it up.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward. This next episode's going to be good too. But yeah, we can close, man. This is cool.
Yeah,
we did
yeah,
good.
yeah.
So I got to get a Red Bull for the next episode, man. But but I appreciate everybody watching. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to because that helps our algorithm out. Don't forget to join our community. Right now, it's only $5 a month to join it. We had it for $35. I dropped it down to $5. Don't forget to join our community though. It's howlersden.locals. So it's our community. It's going to be all behind the scenes stuff. Please go join our community. It's going to help us out, just build a brand awareness and all that. But thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back at 7:00. How's over Baz? I'm Jacob Casas.
I'm Shaddy.
And we are out.
Shed the sheet.
Shed the sheet.